my college is a my college is a constant college. So coming to the point, my college is a constant college. It's a technological university. So here UGC Fitness of Technological Universities for Grants Rules 1978 to be published in the Gazette of India Part 2 Section 3 Subsection 1 Government of India Department of Education New Delhi 31st May 1978. Here clearly mentioned in exercise of power conferred by Section 25 read with Section 12A, now read as 12A of University Grants Commission 1956 3 of 1956, the central government hereby making the following rules. Short title, application and commencement. These rules may be called the University Grants Commission, Fitness of Technological Universities for Grants Rules 1978. They shall apply to every technological university established on or after the 17th day of June 1972, the date on which the University Grants Commission Amendment Act 1972 33 of 1972 came into force. They shall come into force on the date of their publication in the official gazette. Definitions in the rules unless the context otherwise requires. Industry means any business, trade, undertaking, manufacture or calling employers, and includes any calling, service, employment, handicraft or industrial occupation or vocation of workmen. Technological university means a university which provides for instruction and research in any branch or branches of engineering and technology, and for the advancement of learning and the dissemination of knowledge in such branch or branches. So here fitness of grant. No technological university to which these rules apply to be declared to be fit to receive grant from the central government, the commission or any other organization receiving any funds from central government, unless the commission is satisfied in respect of the following matters. Namely, first one, there is a felt need to set up such a university, and there is an evidence that the existing universities in a state cannot effectively meet the requirements of development of engineering and technological education through its colleges either directly maintained by or affiliated to it. It has adequate facilities for postgraduate teaching and research, and has facilities for adequate support of science departments of its own. It provides adequate link with the industry for its courses and is in position to provide for high level consultancy to the industry. So here clearly mentioned in Technological University Act at point C, it provides adequate link with industry for its courses and is in position to provide for high level consultancy to the industry. So it provides courses for extension and devotes attention for regional development. So here clearly mentioned for regional development process. Next one, the state government ensures the provisions of adequate basic facilities in respective of scientific staff, supporting staff, buildings, equipment, library, hostels, staff quarters, playgrounds, and the like as may be determined in consultation with the All India Council for Technical Education. So here clearly mentioned at point E. The state government ensures the provision of adequate basic facilities. The state government ensures the provision of adequate basic facilities in respect of scientific staff, supporting staff, buildings, equipment, library, hostels, staff quarters, playgrounds, and the like as may be determined in consultation with the All India Council for Technical Education. So here clearly mentioned in this act, Technological University Act. This is my university is Technological University. So I am asking straight question. Here clearly mentioned in this Technological University Act at point E, providing buildings. But from last 1.5 months, I did not get any attendance registers and faculty facilities, all those things. Next one, if the law under which such university is established, due weightage has been given to the recommendations made by the Education Commission 1964-66 constituted by resolution of Government of India, the Committee on the Governance of Universities appointed by the Commission. So here lot of commissions is there. So first one is Education Commission 1964 and 66. So I have, this is also I got the authentic document for the UGC Fitness of Technological Universities for Grants Rules 1978. So my college violates also this act. Next one, next coming to the State Council of Higher Education, clearly mentioned here. State Council of Higher Education clearly mentioned. I got this document from Council of Higher Education. It's clearly mentioned. What is that? Here, National Educational Policy 1986 recommended that the state level planning and coordination of higher education shall be done through councils of higher education, and that the University Grants Commission and these councils will develop coordinative methods to keep a watch on standards. The UGC constituted a committee to make recommendations regarding setting up of State Council of Higher Education as per the aforesaid national policy. The said committee recommended that there is a pressing need for effective machinery for promotion and coordination of higher education at the state level and coordination of state level programs with those of the UGC. The UGC has laid down the guidelines for setting up State Council of Higher Education as recommended by the said committee. The state government has accordingly decided to fill the gap by constituting of State Council of Higher Education as recommended in the National Education Policy of the Government of India and as recommended by the committee constituted by the UGC. Thus, Andhra Pradesh State Council of Higher Education came into existence with effective from 25/1988 through Act of 16 of 1988 to advise the government in matters relating to higher education in the state and to oversee its development with perspective planning and for matters connected therewith and incidental thereto. The Andhra Pradesh State Council of Higher Education, the first of its kind in the country, set up as per the recommendations of the National Education Policy 1986, is primarily a coordinating body between the University Grants Commission, the state government and the universities. So here clearly mentioned State Council of Higher Education. What that point is, the Andhra Pradesh State Council of Higher Education, the first of its kind in the country, set up as per the recommendations of the National Education Policy 1986, is primarily a coordinating body between the University Grants Commission, the state government and the universities. Next one, it is the general duty of the council to coordinate, determine standards in institutions of higher education, research, scientific, technical institutions in accordance with the guidelines issued by the University Grants Commission from time to time. The Act 16 of 1988 envisages three distinct functions: a planning and coordination, academic functions, advisory functions. So planning and coordination, academic functions and the advisory functions. So this so I got this from the State Council of Higher Education. It ignores my college. Next, coming to the next one, here Acts, University Act, AP Private University Act 2016, Urdu University Act, Education Act, Prevention of Improper Use, UGC Act, all the judgments, guidelines, initiatives, Supreme Court orders, GOMS 19/2010. So all orders and all acts are mentioned in State Council of Higher Education. It's clearly mentioned. And coming to the Department of Higher Education, Department of Higher Education, state. So missions of the department. First mission, development of undergraduate and postgraduate education, increasing access to higher education, encouraging private participation in expansion of collegiate education, development of infrastructure in government colleges, ensuring maintenance of high standards of education in colleges. Objective in higher education for the particularly in rural areas, establishing linkages with industries and market, promoting academic autonomy, innovation and change. So here clearly mentioned missions and missions of the department, higher education. This also ignores JNTU Constitute College, Kalikiri. Next one, coming to the next point. So next one is it's Department of Justice. I approach Department of Justice. I am asking one question. Had been approved this undertaking agreement points in any government, in any governing body or competent authority? If approved, please provide me the document. So the Department of Justice is transferred my application to the Honorable Delhi High Court. That Delhi High Court again transferred to the JNTU College of Engineering, Kalikiri, Andhra Pradesh 517234. So here clearly mentioned the above captioned applications have been received in this court seeking information under Right to Information Act. Since information sought in the application relate to your good office, the same therefore being transferred to you for furnishing the information insofar as it relates to your good office directly to the applicant. Number is 2862 DHC/161/161/2020. Even today, I did not get any document. So this is the fourth one. Next, coming to the fifth one, it's a University Grants Commission asking same question is same. I am asking same question. Had been approved these undertaking and agreement points in any competent authority or a governing body or any statutory body? If approved, please provide the document. Straight question, only single question I am asking. UGC same, Principal JNTU College of Engineering, Kalikiri 517234. Its number is 82299. So in this asking same question, but I did not get any authentic document. I did not get any reply from this matter also. Next one, this is very important one. I approached culture.stockholm@mea.gov.in. So I approached secretary. So culture.stockholm.mea.gov.in. Here I clearly mentioned I have been working as assistant professor on ad hoc basis. So my college violates UGC clauses 13.0, 10.0, 10.01, 8.1, 8.2 and appendix I. So please transfer this application to jg.subramanian.nic.in, university2@gmail.com, sccy.ugc@nic.in, minister.hrd@gov.in, sccy@nic.in, ratankc.up@nic.in. So these mail is transferred, all these mails. So next day I received one letter. I received one mail from that person. This has reference to the mail received today on subject cited above. This office has already asked the principal, JNTU College of Engineering, Kalikiri, to take action on the issue raised by Sri Jaipal Reddy in the complaint and requested to resolve the issue at the earliest copy and action taken by the college will be intimated to you as soon as the reply is received. So I received this later also. Next one, coming to the next point. So UGC Additional Secretary sent mail to the UGC SCR office. UGC SCR again sent to letter to the JNTU CK management. So I did not get any reply for that also. Next to coming to the next one, AICTE SCR. I have been working as assistant professor ad hoc in the EC department. So my college asking undertaking agreement forms. In AICTE website clearly mentioned all those details, and also all these points against 2.1, 2.5, 2.8, 8.2, 11.2, 16.2, 19.2, 25.2, 25F and Annexure 1. So please solve my problem. Next, coming to the next one. So with this already I completed 6 departments. Next one, so it's a here I approached Department of Higher Education MHRD. So I attached 33 documents in that mail. So please do the needful. So from Higher Education Department I got reply, please take action for this regard these all the reports, and reply to this ministry urgently. But I did not get any reply from that from this reply also. Higher Education Department Ministry of MHRD directly sent mail to the JNTU management, but I did not get any reply. So next one, 7th letter, it's a 30/12/2019, letter number 1060161/EC-HE 2019 from Joint Secretary to Government Higher Education Department 4th Block AP Secretary Velagapudi to the JNTU management. So here clearly mentioned, copy of the references cited are sent herewith. It is requested to examine the case number 932/19 filed by filed by person respectively for not paying salaries, and resolve the issues of the employees as per rules. Resolve the issue of the employees as per rules. Clearly mentioned in the document, Joint Secretary to Government Higher Education Department AP Secretariat Andhra Pradesh, clearly mentioned, it's clearly mentioned. What is that means? It is requested to furnish action taken report directly to that competent authority under intimation to government immediately. Next, clearly mentioned, for not paying salaries, those persons for not paying salaries, and resolve the issue of the employees as per the rules. Here clearly mentioned, resolve the issue of the employees as per rules, but I did not get any reply. So it's a 8th document. Okay. So next one, next authentic, it's a Central Information Commission, CIC Bhavan, Baba Ganganath Marg, Munir Ka, New Delhi. So my number is C662-576. Same, I sent all the documents. I sent all the authentic documents to Central Information Commission also. Next, coming to the next document. Okay. So recently I sent letters to the Registrar General Honorable High Court AP Amravati regarding my issue. Did not provide attendance registers, did not provide faculty rooms, and all those things, violations of Honorable High Court orders, and violations of UGC rules and regulations, violations of ACT rules and regulations, all those things. I sent letters to the Registrar Generals, Registrar Judicials, Honorable High Court. Next, coming to the next one, I got reply from the UGC regarding agreement undertaking points. It's a regarding 57070. UGC rule regulations are mandatory nature, cannot be overlooked any circumstances under secretary. It's a 57070. It's same 57071. UGC rules and regulations are mandatory and cannot be overlooked at any circumstances. Same. Again, I got the same answer for that. So I got answer. UGC rules and regulations mandatory and cannot be overlooked any circumstances. UGC clauses 13.0, 14.0, 11.0, 4.1, 1.1, 8.1, 8.2 and Appendix I. All these rules and regulations, all these clauses are mandatory and cannot be overlooked at any circumstances. And these rules are framed by expert committee. You got the same reply. There is no answer. So for 57075 also same reply. UGC rules are mandatory and be overlooked any circumstances. It's also over. Next, coming to the higher education. Its secretariat, its principal secretary, special principal secretary. So I got this letter from the higher education department. So here clearly mentioned, once again I read, for the development programs of universities and colleges in the state, to the University Grants Commission along with its comments and recommendations, promote cooperation and coordination of the educational institutions among themselves and explore the scope for interaction with industry. Prepare consolidated programs in the sphere of higher education in the state in accordance with the guidelines that may be issued by the University Grants Commission. Clearly mentioned at point number 3. Prepare consolidated programs in the sphere of higher education in the state in accordance with guidelines that may be issued by the University Grants Commission. That's why GOMS number 4 is released. Higher Education Department. All in the GOMS number 14, all points are UGC points. Same ditto, copy to copy. Same points. There is no change. All the UGC points and the GOMS number 4 to 14 points, both are same. Because this is the reason. Next one. Next, coming to the next one regarding my salary issue. UGC I received, it's a DSE, here clearly mentioned DSE/DSE/HE/E/2019-04972. It's a received from officer name Dr. N. Gopakumar, officer designation Joint Secretary, email address gopakumar99@radifmail.com. So I am asking what questions, what is the my grievance is. I have been working as a assistant professor on ad hoc 10.15.1 UGC rules and regulations to inform you that these rules and regulations are mandatory nature and cannot be overlooked at any point of time. These regulations are framed after detailed deliberation with the stakeholders and experts. What is higher education? Importance of higher education. So Southeastern University Norway Professor Dumas, Professor Walter Robert with Professor Sanjeev Sonwe, Director SVE. Internalization of higher education is possible in the 21st century as the world has become a small village. Due to easy technology and communication, it is possible to have exchange of ideas, curriculum and even students. So higher education in India impacted to a great extent due to internalization of higher education. It has improved the quality of higher education in India in reforming the Indian education by sharing the experiences of reforms in the international universities Through their knowledge, success stories, and also failures, it has helped to design and reform the higher education system in India. So here, discussion points are how the internalization takes place in the European universities and specifically the Southeast University in Norway. What are the policies regarding internalization of higher education in the universities? How exchange of staff and students benefited to the universities? How it is practiced universally, long ways for communication at international platform, curriculum exchange, designing a new curricula as per the needs, handling research at global level, cross-national collaboration, knowledge creation and its application to create a wealth, cultural exchange, and how to facilitate it. So, Professor Azman said that internalization is very important in European universities in USA and Norway. There are policies which should make sure that internalization is happening. For instance, the mobility of students, international research projects, and sustainable development and sustainable education is one of the reasons why there is a internalization. These are some aspects including in the internalization policy. Professor Walter said that internalization experience of studying in various universities not only benefits you to get with another country, but also widens your perspective of your own country, culture, and solving familiar and unfamiliar problems. You learn about other countries at personal as well as cultural level. Today, when we have exchange programs and collaborations, is an extremely valuable experience having lifelong consequences. So, Professor Sonavan said that it is a win-win approach. Both universities, the faculties, students are getting benefited, and the overall higher education is benefited due to internalization of higher education. It will really enhance the higher education quality due to this society, and the whole globe will get the benefit. So, main reason for the higher education. So, this is the main reason. Actually, I also through bilateral agreement, I have completed my 1 year study in Sweden and 1 year study in JNTUA Kukatpalli. So in the state, all universities bilateral agreements in between Sweden and India programs, BS, MS, BS, here BTech, and in Sweden Bachelor of Science, and also MS also is there. So in this professor, so in this matter, Professor Walter and all these professors clearly mentioned with these bilateral agreements with the exchange of students and faculties will be benefited. What are the challenges universities are facing in the internalization of higher education? How to overcome the language barrier? How does the experience of working with different universities help you to design new curricular course? What type of concrete research projects you are handling under area of internalization of higher education? Here clearly mentioned what type of concrete research projects you are handling under area of internalization of higher education. That's why UGC clause, one clause is there for research projects. Study leave is clearly mentioned for all faculty, including ad hoc, contract, regular, all faculty is applicable that clause. That clause is 8.2. That's why UGC is clearly mentioned that clause UGC 8.2. But in my agreement, there is not that point. How I can sign that agreement? That is my question. So that's why I approached Honorable High Court. I got order from the Honorable High Court to continue my services as assistant professor ad hoc until my writ petition disposed. That's why I approached MHRD, UGC, AICTE, and State Higher Education Department, Andhra Pradesh. That's why I got all the orders regarding this is the main reason. Next one, what is your opinion regarding differences in approach or thinking of students from India and Norway about sustainable development and the democratic education and life skills? Do you think that quality of research is enriched through internalization of higher education? How your university is facilitating internalization? Are you having any special section department center? How that center is supporting to the students and faculty to encourage internalization? What are the sources your university is actually utilizing for the mobility of the students? So these all are related to the internalization of higher education. So next, coming to the next one, so ensuring quality of higher education is of the most important things. Learning outcomes, higher education concept. So education beyond the higher secondary level, especially education provided by college or university, education at a college or university where subjects are studied in great detail at an advanced level. Education at universities are similar educational establishments, especially to degree level. Higher education refers to all types of studies, training or training for research at the post-secondary level provided by universities or other educational establishments that are approved as institutions of higher education by the competent state authorities. So, National Education Day, India every year. So, Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad, first Education Minister of Independent India. Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad, first Education Minister of Independent India. His birthday anniversary is celebrated as National Education Day, India every year, 11th November. Next one, here, first one, Indian Education Commission, National Policy of Education 1968, National Policy on Education 1986, University Education Commission, Secondary Education Commission. So 1948-49, Dr. Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan was the chairman of the commission, VC of Benares University, second president of India, first education commission in independent India. The commission set up especially to give its recommendations about the university education. The commission made a recommendation to the government that it should include education in the concurrent list. So here three types of rules and regulations is there: concurrent, state, central. Concurrent means both state and central. That's why the commission made a recommendation to the government that it should include the education in the concurrent list. Establish the University Grants Commission for the supervision and allocation of funds to the university. So establish the University Grants Commission for supervision and allocation of funds to the universities. So 1948-49, admission to university should be after 11 years of schooling. The structure suggested by them was 11 years of schooling and 3 years of university. Every university should have certain number of research fellowships to encourage research. English should be the medium of instruction for higher education. The commission emphasized the vital need for establishing rural universities surrounded by rural colleges to meet the needs of rural reconstruction in agriculture and industry. So that's why University Education Commission in 1948-49 clearly mentioned one point. That point is, the commission emphasized the vital need for establishing rural universities surrounded by rural colleges to meet the needs of rural reconstruction in agriculture and industry. That means, if located one engineering college in rural villages, that rural villages automatically will be developed regarding which aspects? Agriculture and industry sector. That's why technological university, that's why clearly mentioned in Technological University Act, consultancy services is mandatory in all constituted colleges, universities. What University Education Commission 1948-49 said that the commission emphasized the vital need for establishing rural universities surrounded by rural colleges to meet the needs of rural reconstruction in agriculture and industry. So that's why in Kalkari, JNTUCK constitute colleges around this college, majority industry is the milk industry. So milk dairies is available. Next four categories. Next, coming to the four categories of university teachers: professors, readers, lecturers, instructors. So Secondary Education Commission 1952-53. So focus was organization and content of secondary education and its relationship to primary and higher education. It suggests to end intermediate college, merge class 11 with secondary schools, class 12 with degree course should be of 3 years, 1 year pre-university course for high school students to enter university professional course. Next, Secondary Education Commission 1950-53. Technical institutions should be opened near factories so that students get practical training. So here clearly mentioned Secondary Education Commission 1950-53. Technical institutions should be opened near factories so that students can get practical training. That's why one clause is there in a UGC, that is a technical training, that is industrial training course. That industrial training course is applicable to the all ad hoc faculty also. It's clearly mentioned in UGC and ACT clause. Next one, industrial education cess should be levied on industries to finance technical education. Next, 1964-66, Dr. D.S. Kotari, chairman, then chairman of UGC. 5 foreign experts from countries such as USA, UK, USSR, France and Japan. Education is the most powerful weapon of national development. The density of India is being shaped in its classroom. 10+2+3 pattern of education, 3 language formula. It was on the basis of the report that the new education policy was declared in 1968. Next one, Indian Education Commission 1964-66. There should be at least one agriculture university in every state. This should as far as possible be single campus universities, but where necessary they may have constitute colleges on different campuses. That's why here clearly mentioned. So this is a very important point for all the constitute colleges faculty, either ad hoc or contractual. So all the benefits is here clearly mentioned in Indian Education Commission 1964-66. There should be at least one agriculture university in every state. These should as far as possible be single campus universities, but where necessary they may have constituent colleges on different campuses. That's why one constituent college is located in nearer Kalikiri. Next, coming to the next one, in a technical education, practical training in industry should form an integral part of such education. Technical education and research should be related closely to industry. So it's a technical education. Practical training in industry should form an integral part of such education. Technical education and research should be related closely to industry. Next one, part-time education and correspondence courses should be developed on large scale at the university stage. Efforts should be made continuously to maintain a proper balance between the output of the educational institutions and the employment opportunities. Next, the number of whole-time students to be admitted to a college or the university department should be determined with reference to the laboratory, library, other facilities, and to the strength of the staff. Considerable care is needed in establishing new universities. This should be started only after an adequate provision of funds has been made for the purpose and due care has been taken to ensure proper standards. Special attention should be given to the organization of postgraduate courses and to the improvement of standards of training and research at this level. So, this is the 1964-66. Next, National Policy on Education 1968. Policy was suggested adequate provisions of funds before establishing new universities. The infrastructure facilities should be considered. It emphasized on a proper balance between the output of educational institutions and employment opportunities. Next, National Policy on Education 1986. Autonomous colleges will be developed in large numbers. The creation of autonomous departments within universities on selective basis will be given a fillip. The courses and programs of college education will be redesigned to meet the demands of specialization better. There would be emphasis on linguistic competence and course combination. State level planning and coordination will be done through Council of Higher Education, the UGC, and these councils will develop a method jointly to keep a watch on standards. So, in National Policy on Education 1986 clearly mentioned State level planning and coordination will be done through councils of higher education. Councils of higher education. The UGC and these councils will develop method jointly to keep a watch on standards. Next one, methods of teaching will be supplemented by audio visual aids. For ensuring quality research, suitable steps will be taken by UGC for enhancing support services in the universities. Research in ideology, humanities and social sciences will receive adequate support. Setting up of national research facilities within university system with proper management will be accorded top priority. A national body spanning higher education in general and sprawling over agriculture, medical, technical, legal and other professional fields in particular will be set up in interest greater coordination and consistency in policy. So National Age Policy on Education 1986, Open University and Distance Learning, Delinking Degrees from Job, Rural Universities. National Policy on Education 2019. So National Policy on Education 2019 draft, drawing from India's heritage, taking forward the agenda of previous education policies, alignment with global sustainable development goals, integrated and flexible approach, national development. So here priority, multidisciplinary approach, liberal education, national research foundation, professional education, priority to disadvantaged geographical areas, autonomous institutions, ODL to increase GR to 50%, internalization of higher education through institutional collaborations. So culture, heritage and languages, human well-being, democratic principles, equity and quality, all around development, local community development. The highest education is that which does not merely give us information but makes our life in harmony with existence. So this is all the policies, education policies. This is the evidence document. I got this all educational policies from AICTE MHRD. I got this national educational policies documents from AICTE MHRD. So next, coming to the next one, higher education in India. So Ministry of Human Resource Development 1985. Here two departments is there, Department of School Education and Literacy and Department of Higher Education. So Department of Higher Education comes under, so here Ministry of Human Resource Development objectives clearly mentioned, all objectives. This is also I got from MHRD. What are the objectives? So Department of Higher Education, and this is University Grants Commission of India. So in 1949, a recommendation was made by University Education Commission under the chairmanship of S. Radhakrishnan to reconstitute the UGC along similar lines of University Grants Committee of United Kingdom. In 1952 also, the government decided that all grants to universities and higher learning institutions should be handled by the UGC. Subsequently, an inauguration was held of 20th December 1953 by Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad, the Minister of Education, National Resources and Research. The University Grants Commission of India. In November 1956, the UGC became a statutory body upon passing of the University Grants Commission Act 1956 by the Indian Parliament. Here clearly mentioned. In November 1956, the UGC became a statutory body upon passing of the University Grants Commission Act 1956 by the Indian Parliament. So in 1994 and 1995, the UGC decentralized its operations by setting up 6 regional centers at Pune, Hyderabad, Kolkata, Bhopal, Guwahati and Bangalore. Grants for MRP, fellowship for research scholars, development grant to institutions. Next, functions of the UGC. UGC enforces its standards, advises the government and help coordinate between center and the state. It provides recognition to universities in India and such recognized universities and colleges. Accreditation for higher learning is overseen by 15 autonomous institutions established by the UGC. Accreditation for higher learning is overseen by 15 autonomous institutions established by the UGC. These are All India Council for Technical Education, it comes as Technological Universities, Distance Education Council DEC, Indian Council of Agriculture Researchers ICAR, Bar Council of India BCI, Board of Theological Education of the Senate of BTE SSC, National Council for Teacher Education NCTE, RCI Rehabilitation Council of India, Medical Council of India MCI, Pharmacy Council of India PCI, Indian Nursing Council INC, Dental Council of India DCI, Central Council of Homeopathy CCH, Central Council of India Indian Medicine CCIM, National Council for Rural Institutions NCRI, State Council of Higher Education SCHE, Council of Architecture, Veterinary Council of India. Functions of the UGC. RUSA, objectives of RUSA. National Initiative for Design Innovation. The MHRD launched this scheme in the 12th plan. Under this initiative, 20 new design innovation centers, one open design school and a national design innovation network linking together all the schools are proposed to the setup. Next one, Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya National Mission on Teachers and Teaching. The aim of the scheme is to improve the quality of school and higher education by addressing comprehensively all issues related to teachers, teaching preparation, professional development, curriculum design, design and developing assessment and evaluation methodology, developing effective pedagogy. Okay, these all are the higher education related matters. Next, coming to the circulars. So here UGC is clearly gives one circular on the date December 2019, 1-2-2019. University Grants Commission, India and German Academic Exchange Service, DAAD. German invite proposals from eligible Indian German institutions under Indo-German Partnership in Higher Education Program. All Indian public institutions that are eligible to receive development grants from the UGC and MHRD funded institutions may apply. Proposals must be submitted as per the prescribed format. Duly filled proposals should be sent to the section office. I got this circular also in December. So with this type of works done only through proper channel, that means recommendation letter is mandatory from the management of management of college. But for all ad hoc faculty, I think in my aspect I did not get any recommendation letter. It's clearly mentioned. I approached this scheme also. Next one, this is also Belgium Brussels 2019 for research and higher education, ARES. Next one, so this is the CP Divya Kaushal program, National Job Fair and Ability Expo 2-3 December 2019. I did not get any circular. I did not get any circulars in my college. Next one, University Grants Commission invites application from interested Indian students and Hungarian scholarship program. It's the best for this scheme is best for students. Next one. So here clearly mentioned UGC to all universities. As per the provision mentioned in Indo-German Cultural Exchange Program, the German Academic Exchange Service and the University Grants Commission in New Delhi worked out a program, project-based personal exchange program 2020-21, which is designed to intensive cooperation between two countries through funding of scholars who would participate in cooperative research projects primarily in the fields of humanities and social sciences. Yes, this is for best for humanities and social sciences. So here 7th November 2019 I got circular. As you are aware that UGC has taken several initiatives under its quality mandate. One of them related to industry connect for every institution. With view to realize the university and industry bond, UGC constituted a working group to study the subject in depth and evaluate strategy as well as roadmap for implementation towards enhancing the linkages. In its report, the working group proposes specific measures to create an enabling ecosystem for fostering and enhancing university industry linkage. It has been decided suggestions from stakeholders. So this is for the best for the industry linkage purposes. Next, this is for UBA Unnat Bharat Abhiyan program. So I received this circular from I got the circular 20 November. I sent mail to my management regarding I am very much interested to participate under Unnat Bharat Abhiyan to adopt 5 villages because I came from rural village. My background is a rural village. I completed my all studies in government high school and government colleges with 5,000 rupees scholarship. I studied all my studies in hostel. So that's why I am very much interested in this program to serve the rural people because I came from rural area. I completed my masters in Sweden and India. I completed my BTech bachelor's degree. I completed masters in Hyderabad. So from a bilateral agreement from India and Sweden, I got some knowledge from European countries because I completed 1 year degree in European countries. So that's why I encouraged with rural area people and students with what are the benefits are available in European Union, Canada, Sweden, New Zealand, Australia, UK, Ireland. What are the which universities is best for Canada in some states, Alberta, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Ontario. In especially Saskatchewan, which university is best? What are the programs is best for the students? PR option for getting easy PR, which state is best, and all details I know. My foreign experience is very useful to the rural villages area students, and also those who are completed master's degrees in rural areas also best for the that candidates, because if you completed masters you get the some points. Your age is below 29 years, you will get the some more points. If your spouse completed masters, then you will get the more points. Then it's very easy to get a PR. So with PR, what are the benefits? Free education, free medical, and lot of benefits will be there in Canada. So that's why I am very much interested to participate this program to serve the rural area village peoples. I sent so many mails to my management, but I did not get any reply. Even I have Honorable High Court order, and also I have UGC orders, AICT orders, MHRD orders, Higher Education Department orders, and also I received one call from CMO office. I received one call from CMO office. Clearly mentioned, better you talk with Higher Education Department. So Higher Education Department also, through telephone talk, I clearly explained my agenda and my points. But Higher Education Department sent one letter to the management of JNTUA, but I did not get any reply till today. Applicable to all the UGC AICT clauses for better sustainment development and social development and socio-economic development in rural area villages and in rural area students and rural area peoples. This is my humble request to the UGC, AICTE, MHRD. Please take necessary action. Already it's completed, I think 2 years. So next one, coming to the ICT initiatives of Government of India in higher education. So higher education, ICT means information and communication technology. So under this scheme, lot of so first one is one stop educational portal, NPTEL. Next, consortium for educational communication, spoken tutorial, virtual classroom, SWAYAM, AICTE, NPTEL, UGC, CEC, NCERT, NIOS, IGNO, IMB, NITTR, SWAYAM Prabha. So these National Academic Depository, these are all tools very advantage for the uh, advantage for all faculty members. Here one scheme is there, that is a global initiative of academic networks. This scheme is very advantage to the ad hoc faculty and contractual faculty also. I explained clearly to increase the footfalls of reputed international faculty in Indian academic institutes, provide opportunity to our faculty to learn and share knowledge and teaching skills in cutting edge areas, to provide opportunity to our students to seek knowledge and experience from reputed international faculty, to create avenue for possible collaborative search with the international faculty, to increase participation and presence of international students in the academic institutions, opportunity for the students of different institutes, universities to interact and learn subjects areas through collaborative learning process, provide opportunity for technical persons from Indian industry to improve understandings and update their knowledge in relevant areas, motivate the best international experts in the world to work on problems related to India, develop high quality course materials both through video and print that can be used by a large body of students and teachers. So this is very advantage for global initiative of academic networks. So here total 27 ICT, so information communication and technology, and that's 27 tools. I think these all are. So next one I approached IHRC in Geneva. So here articles is there, article 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24 25 26. 26 is clearly mentioned. Everyone has right to education. Education shall be free at least in the elementary fundamental stages. Elementary education shall be compulsory. Technical professional shall be made general available. Higher education shall be equally accessible on all basis merit. Article 27, 28, 29 and 30. All these articles, so this is established in Geneva. All these articles all are benefited to the ad hoc faculty. I approached this organization also. So once again I will show. I received letters from, this is UGC. I received letter from UGC and this is also from UGC SCRO, and this letter is I received from UGC SCRO, and this letter is I received from UGC SCRO. So this letter is received from Registrar General High Court of Delhi, New Delhi. This letter is received from Registrar General High Court of Delhi, New Delhi, and these letters I received from UGC, SCRO and UGC office. This letter is received from NHRC. Clearly mentioned, NHRC said that the Principal Secretary, Department of Higher Education, Andhra Pradesh, the complaint is transmitted to concerned authority for such action deemed appropriate. The authority concerned is directed to take appropriate action within 8 weeks, associating the complaint victim to inform them of the action taken in the matter. I did not get any reply. And I received this letter from Department of Justice. In Department of Justice, this letter is said that what is this number is F number 15011/106/2019, admin, Government of India, Ministry of Law and Justice, Department of Justice. I am directed to forward the received from Mr. K. Jayapal Reddy, Andhra Pradesh State, which has been received from Department of Justice. The matter pertain to Delhi High Court. Therefore, I am transferring the same order section under Act 6 of the Act 2005 to Delhi High Court for take necessary action. I am asking straight question, single question, just to one point. Had been approved this undertaking and agreement points in any competent authority or a governing body or a statutory body? If approved, please provide the document. I applied one single question to Ministry of Department of Justice, Ministry of Law and Justice, because I got order from Honorable High Court. That's why I approached Ministry of Law and Justice. That's why Ministry of Law and Justice is transferred my complaint to the concerned Delhi High Court Registrar General. The Registrar General is transferred my complaint to the JN2CK management, but I did not get any reply. And one more thing, this is one more letter, same letter. It's a number is 897/1/3/2019 C. Same, there is nothing. I did not get any reply. So here, this is also same letter. All these letters are same. And one more letter is there. That is also I received from UGC. And this is from AICTE. This is from UGC SCRO. And these all are from UGC AICTE. I am asking question. Please provide that authentic document if these performers are approved by any competent authority or a governing body or statutory body. I am asking single straight question. I did not get any reply. I did not get any salaries from last 12 months. How I can sustain? My agenda is all the UGC, AICTE, MHRD, all policies, all will be, because higher education, it's not a school education, it's not a intermediate education. Higher education have some missions, sustainable development, socio-economic development. All these developments will be all these developments developed through a higher education only. That's why higher education having some certain rules and regulations. That's why my humble request is to solve this problem on its first question, and solve my salaries in second question, and third question to implement all UGC clauses 8.1, 8.2, 13.0, 14.0, 15.0 Appendix I, and AICTE clauses regarding consultancy work, industrial trainings, research works. All these implement, please immediately implement all these. My humble request, please pay my salaries from last 12 months and please solve this immediately. This is my humble request to the all higher authorities, UGC, AICTE, MHRD, Department of Higher Education.